Today, we're gonna get to Dodger Stadium the hard way, no car. I'm here in downtown Los Angeles at Union Station. Right now it's 4:23. That means I've got about 2.5 hours to get from here all the way up to there. It's about 2 miles and 400 feet gain of elevation, so we better get going. I'm Ryan, my wife is Tess, together we're TNR for travel. I'm in California alone on a work trip today, so this is a solo mission. There are two main ways to get to the stadium without a car. You can either take the Dodger Stadium Express bus, or you can walk. Coming up, I'll be explaining both. And tonight's not just any game, it is the first regular season freeway series now that Shohei has moved up the 5 from the Angels to the Dodgers. He's been on a hot streak lately. I think he's gonna have a big night. And whether you're gonna walk or take the bus, your journey will likely begin at Union Station. All trains in Southern California can get here, and Amtrak lines from further afield. There's a large amount of parking. This is not showing nearly all of it. If you drive to the station, you can park for $8 for the day, which is what I did. Union Station is the main pickup and drop-off point for the Stadium Express bus. Just follow these signs to bus bay number 9 in the bus plaza. That's where you're going to get picked up before the game. It's free and several buses run, but I've seen people complain online, mostly Giants fans, that there are not enough buses and it can't really be called an express bus. I guess we'll find out after the game. There is another express bus that starts further out. I'll throw a link in the description to a video of someone who took that bus to the game. You don't have to take the metro to get to the stadium, but you can shorten the walk by about a mile if you ride one stop from Union Station to Chinatown. Just make sure to use the tap boxes, not the MetroLink ticket boxes. If you need any assistance with directions, the neon-clad attendants are very helpful. Now the annoying thing is that I'm only taking one ride, but you need to buy this $2 reusable card. A little wasteful, unfortunately. The fare itself is $1.75. That was a short little ride, but we made it to Chinatown. It certainly would be nice if you could just stay on the train all the way up to the stadium itself. Now, of course, that line doesn't exist. I have heard talk, though, that they are considering putting in a gondola to get you up the hill from downtown. Now, that would be very cool, probably very expensive, and as far as I know, it's still kind of a pie-in-the-sky idea, but we can hope. A fun thing about walking, especially if you're from out of town, is you get to do some extra sightseeing. Later I'll show you how to see some famous LA landmarks from the stadium too. I read that a lot of the buildings here in Chinatown were designed by Hollywood set designers in the 30s. It feels so Los Angeles to me to have the movie set builders make the actual city. It feels very backwards. I also read that this is not LA's first Chinatown. The original one was raised to build Union Station. Tearing down neighborhoods of mostly minority populations is a bit of a theme today. I'll talk about the history of the stadium in Chavez Ravine once we get there.
Careful, they might run you over.
Got this little timed crosswalk here, and as I was walking, the lady told me, you better watch out, they might run you over. And they did, almost run me over. Great start to the walk overall. Right now I'm on my way to Yale Street. That's what we're looking to find. There's one pedestrian bridge across the freeway. Now we can turn off this busier drag and hopefully it'll get a little more chill since this is a dead end for cars up ahead. Now at the end of this road, we are going to encounter the first of 2 major pedestrians as afterthought bits of infrastructure. I've seen pictures of this bridge. A little scared to see it in person. Up and over the freeway we'll go. Not really sure what the need for the razor wire is. Probably to keep me safe. Now is as good of a time as any to remember that Dodger Stadium is now the 3rd oldest ballpark in the majors, of course behind Wrigley and Fenway. Built in 1962, Dodger Stadium was constructed at the peak of the suburbs and car mania. And I think it's pretty easy to see who still rules around here. According to an LA Times article written last year, only 5% of people coming to the stadium take the Stadium Express bus. Judging by the amount of people I've passed wearing Dodger gear on my walking route, I'd say about the other 94.9% drive. This is getting to be a bit much. Literally just watched 3 cars in a row below this stop sign, right where I was just crossing. This intersection's a little rough. Now the hilly part. Told you there was 400 feet of elevation. There's a couple of brave souls on the hill, not just me. Now here is number 2 of the aggressively bad pedestrian infrastructure. These little painted lines that pretend to be a sidewalk. This little path here is part of my hesitation to do this in the dark after the game, because I've heard some impatient drivers like to hop up on this little shoulder, try to zip around the lines of traffic. We'll see how long the line for the bus is and how brave I'm feeling. There it is, we're on top of the hill. I do get to sprint across this crosswalk though. Even that was sketchier than it needed to be. This guy ripped around to go nowhere. People don't really know where to go. Hidden in this little safe space. Thank you. Well, we made it. It is now 5:40, so that took me a good hour and 20 minutes. If you're not making a YouTube video, it'd probably go a bit faster for you. I think Google told me it would be about 45. I am going to be sitting in the topmost row middle seat of section 45RS. Here's why I got these seats. This is the upper level on the third base side. If we turn around, we get to see the Griffith Observatory, behind it the Hollywood sign. A little bit to the side, you can see downtown Beverly Hills, and directly behind the plate, if we turn a little further, is downtown Los Angeles. You can feel the ocean in the air. The breeze on my back is so relaxing. Since there's some time before the game, I'll talk about the history of the stadium. So the Dodgers used to play in this transit-oriented gem of a stadium in Brooklyn called Ebbets Field. Their name actually comes from the shortened nickname of Trolley Dodgers. Walter O'Malley, the owner, saw greener pastures for the team out west as California's population boomed. Well, prior to the stadium, Chavez Ravine got its name from the Latino neighborhood built on the hill. It was a low-income area at the time, but was close to downtown. But the city decided to destroy the neighborhood and build public housing. Except they stopped after destroying the neighborhood. For residents of Chavez Ravine who had their homes bulldozed, it must have felt great to see the ravine sit empty for 10 years before the Dodgers came to town. If you're tooling around checking out the Dodgers history exhibits before the game, you could be forgiven for believing that the stadium was the first thing ever built on this land. But the more you know. The game is about to start and all of sports is betting oriented now, so here's an over-under for you. Shohei's leading off tonight. He's getting $700 million from the Dodgers for 10 years to be the best player anyone living has seen. Now in those 10 years, do you think that the Dodgers can pay the entirety of Shohei's contract with just their parking revenue? There are about 16,000 parking spaces at Dodger Stadium. 81 regular season games a year. Let's assume a sellout crowd. They average pretty close to that. I'd say there are about 5,000 preferred parking spaces. Those go for $60. The rest are $30 each in advance, $35 at the door. I'm just gonna say it's $30 to keep it simple. Have your guess? By my count, in the 10 years of Shohei Ohtani home games that the Dodgers are paying $700 million for, they will make $510 million from just selling parking. So that strikes me in a couple ways. One, $700 million is so much money, it's ridiculous. Also shows you why the Dodgers are in no way incentivized to stop this money machine that they've got going. I'm sure teams like the Cubs and Red Sox would love to make $50 million a year from parking. That was a great game. Unfortunately, the Dodgers ended up losing 3-2 in 10. Shohei started with 2 walks, then hit a 2-run bomb, 455 feet to center field. That was great to see. I got a Dodger dog and some garlic fries, 1,600 calories for under 20 bucks. You can't beat it. Now we got a little drone show and it's time to get out of here. So the Stadium Express bus loads up behind the stadium, and according to the website, it'll run until 20 minutes after the post-game event. I lingered a little bit because I had never seen a drone show. Looks like I found the line. We're gonna queue up and we'll see how it goes. It's been about half an hour and we're finally getting up to the front. I really timed it right though. From when I got into the line, in the 30 minutes we've waited for the second round of buses to load up, the line has doubled from when I got into it. These people could be waiting a long time. And maybe it's because everybody wants to sit. So I was one of the last on this bus. It is standing room only at this point, but there's plenty of room to move around. It's pretty comfortable. They definitely could have got a few more people on this. And now we're in the traffic. You can see that dark sidewalk there. That's where I came up, and that's where I would be walking down. Glad I opted for the bus, because apparently the police needed the sidewalk to come up the hill. Oh, pretty slick. We're back at Union Station. I'd estimate that was about a half an hour wait and about a half an hour ride down the hill. It seemed like the cars were moving pretty well, so I'm not really sure if you're saving much time doing things this way to get out of the stadium, but at least I wasn't the one driving the vehicle in the start and stop traffic. So now, after all that environmentally friendly transit, I'm back in my rental car and I'm about to hop on the freeway for an hour drive back to Orange County, where my hotel is, for my work trip, because the train between Union Station and Irvine stops running at like 6:30 p.m. So, game started at 7. I hope you found my experience useful. I hope you learned something for your trip to Dodger Stadium without a car. My name is Ryan. My wife is Tess. Together we're TNR for Travel. Like and subscribe's always appreciated. For this video, every like and every subscribe equals 1 pet for Decoy, so make sure that puppy feels appreciated. See you next time.